Hello, everybody. My name is Zaman Victor Bogdan, and I am your uh, moderator for today because our my colleague, I'm sorry, Katalin Fercu, is not able to participate on this edition. And also, I say for you, Happy New Year because it's the first edition for 2025. Happy New Year and all the best for you guys. And if you are not subscribed for our YouTube channel, please subscribe. It's for free. And today we have a special guest. It's Johan Taylor, co-founder of Rugby Academy Ireland, and our how say guest for today. And I hope we will have a good conversation because also Rugby Mania Association have an agreement with Rugby Academy of Ireland to help young players and also some coaches to develop their skills. So hello Johan, how are you? And thank you for accepting the invitation for the podcast.
How are you? No, thank you very much for the invitation, and it's great to be the first guest of the new year. So I hope it's a great season for all the players that's listening.
Yes, also we are a few days or week before Six Nation tournament, so everybody's how say nervous to see the games and to see the biggest tournament of the world in rugby, or maybe who knows in sport. In my opinion, is the biggest tournament in all the sports. So I hope we'll have a great tournament and to have how to say maybe we see this time Ireland the new champion in Six Nation.
Look, I think France and Ireland is definitely for me the front runners of um, of winning the tournament, and home advantage. If you look at the history of the Six Nations, is very important. So yeah, my if I was a betting man, definitely my money would have been on Ireland.
Uh, I, I didn't think other. I know you will say that because if you say other things, I say I don't believe you, Johan. So I look a little bit of your CV. You are the manager of Sri Lanka ASEAN Nation Cup. Maybe you have Friends Academy of. I'm sorry. Maybe you give me Philippe Saint-André. Yes, Rugby Academy in France. Maybe you tell us a little bit about that before we go on the subjects today.
Yes, I was lucky enough to coach in Sri Lanka for a good number of years, and then had the privilege of coaching the national team for 3 years, where we the players achieved a really good goal by winning the first Asian Cup for Sri Lanka, and we did it a second time, and then runners up on the third year. So I had a really great time. I still go over to Sri Lanka regularly to help the club there. Um, Super players, really talented players, really committed players, and I can't say enough about how Sri Lanka and a lot of the other Asian countries are actually approaching rugby. Obviously, various problems as well along the way, just like any other union will have. But in terms of the player pool and the players' commitment, it's the same as in Europe. It's just obviously generally the Asian player size count against them when they start playing against bigger teams in the World Cups, etc. But honestly, I can say from loyalty, skill level, commitment to the game, it's the same as in Europe. And then your second part, I was lucky enough to work with Philippe and a few other very good coaches in France where we started what we call PSA academies, Philippe Saint-André academies. And it was really, really good, successful. We had loads of players. Unfortunately, after COVID, we never went back to France. So from that, we now run the PSA academies only in Ireland for overseas players. It's generally younger players, so the age will be from 10 to 16, where we do summer camps. In other words, in July and August, that players will come over for a week or two from any part of the world. Obviously, a lot of Irish kids, and we bring international coaches over, and we just share the passion of the game to the young kids through the summer, and meet different cultures, different ways of playing. So I guess I'm in a privileged position to have my fingers in Asia and then with the PSA academies.
Yeah, it's great to have a lot of knowledge. You are also an old rugby educator, also IRB educator. So you have a lot of experience. So how you have the idea to make the academy, and also maybe you give us a brief history of Rugby Academy Ireland.
Yeah, so Rugby Academy Ireland was started about 7 years ago by myself and a former Springbok player, Dan Van Zyl, that also lives in Ireland. And we both had the experience of very good players, especially from second and third tier countries, that would like the opportunity to experience academy life. And that basically involves getting up early in the morning, train on the pitch, train in the gym, study lifestyle skills, and do it 5 days a week, play a rugby match on the weekend. And look, let's be honest, when you're young, that's the dream. But unfortunately, in a lot of second and third tier countries, it's just not possible. There's no academies based in countries like Belgium that we have many players from. We get a lot of American kids from all over the world. And so we just wanted to give them that experience of coming to Ireland, playing in Ireland. Like we had snow a couple of weeks ago and the sun is shining at the moment. So experience Europe, experience the hospitality of Ireland and the people here. Play with the other players, and then hopefully we'll get the opportunity to give them a trial somewhere in the world to build a relationship between clubs and players. We also focus heavily on education, so they get various certificates. They get a diploma through a college in Dublin, because we are also realistic that education plays a massive part to all rugby players. Doesn't matter your level. So there is a huge emphasis on the education part as well. They can come for 8 months. That's our full-time program. Or some players obviously come for shorter periods. But to answer your question, probably more detailed, Dan and myself are both from South Africa. I moved here to Ireland about 30 years ago. Dan a little bit less. And we had the privilege of doing exactly what I described there. We came to Ireland, the people really helped us, and I think it's our privileged position that we can kind of now give it to other people to experience the community that rugby clubs, rugby players can give each other. So look, I'm not going to lie to you, it's one of those dream jobs. We really enjoy every moment of it, and you're welcome to come and visit us at any time.
You read my mind. I just think a few days ago, maybe I don't know, in the next future I don't give a real time, because I don't know. Uh, for the short period, I have a tournament that I want to make in Romania for Rugby 7, an international rugby tournament. So now we have to how say, to make everything to bring life. So now we have a discussion with the clubs to come on the tournament. It's the first edition, so at the first edition it's a little bit harder because nobody knows you, nobody knows what you will try to do. So we want to do for the first edition something great, to give for the second edition a feedback for other teams to come for the tournament and to make bigger and bigger every year. So, but maybe in the summer, who knows? I really want to come to the academy, maybe to make a short video for the kids in Romania who want to have another experience and to develop their skills, because also I want to give them the chance to uh, to learn more. You know, it's easy um, to stay in your bubble, but it's a little bit harder to see other things, because then you will have more knowledge about rugby. You will get more information, and also your rugby game will improve much better. So I want to give, not me, also my colleagues, to give the chance for for players, also for some coaches to develop their knowledge, because you in life you never stop learning. You know, it's a continuous process to learn. So we hope with this collaboration to give them the chance to develop themselves. You know, it's not about only the rugby skills. It's also, if you look to the other perspective, um, a human experience, you know, to meet a new culture, to meet a new person, to see them, how they think, how they spoke, how they treat rugby different way than us, because like you say, the world, uh, two or third country in the world, they don't have the same economic power like the Western countries. So it's a little bit harder to have the same life like the kids from Ireland, so, or for the kids who afford to come in Ireland and to stay there. So we want to give them this chance to have more opportunities.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track. It's about opportunities and memories that will last a lifetime. And
Yes.
it doesn't matter which country you're from. If you can play for your national team, that's as good as you can do. And it's a great privilege. It's great honor for your family, and therefore, if we can help some kids to achieve that, it's lifelong memories. So I don't think you should kind of categorize players, in different boxes. I think they all are the same when we get on the pitch. The size of the pitch is the same. The laws are the same.
Yeah.
It comes down to love and commitment of the players. And as I said, my experience is that most of those countries have players that is the same commitment, the same love. It's just giving them the opportunity to experience, Ireland in this case. There's other academies, obviously, as well. But Ireland, we had 11 different nationalities with us over the last season, different languages. So the kids pick up, a few words of Spanish and a few words of French.
Yeah.
And it's great. And the religions are different. So how do we treat a player that might be, fasting, for whatever reason? So there's a lot of life lessons through rugby. And when you live like this together, I think it's more than rugby. It's really special, and we've seen it many times. And that's why I say we're very privileged to have this opportunity.
Yes, it's true. How many kids you have on the academy? Long term, also to the online course every year, if you have a estimate
It,
accountability.
it it really varies depending on the time of the year. Right now, as we speak, we probably have about 40 players in the academy. That will go to about 50 towards the end of the week because of the Southern Hemisphere players that have
Okay.
holidays at the moment. So we have a lot of, say, Argentinian players coming in. So yeah, but it really varies. It can be from, I say, 25 to 50 is probably kind of the average that will be full time at the academy.
And they
Um,
live there. They live there. They go to school. They eat together. They train together, and they play together like a team.
yeah, so they live on site. You're right. They don't go to school as a normal, let's call it a government school. Its education is in Dublin, so they do go there. It's a normal college, or the online education hub that you are familiar with. They study through that and get the certification through that. So it's not normal school where you do, I don't know, English, Irish, maths, biology.
Mm.
Everything is geared towards rugby. They do video analysis. They do sports psychology, strength and conditioning, personal trainer, medical course, referee course, coaching course. So it's a lot of education, but it all comes back to the one and only rugby. So you really need to love it to come to us.
I want to inscribe. Count me in. It's great, you know. I just think now, if I was 18 years old, I want to do that. If I was a young player, you know, to go to have this experience, I think it's amazing, and I hope our association will have enough funds in the future to support maybe one or two or three. I don't know how many kids or coaches we can afford to send them to stay 8 months in Ireland and to have this experience. I think is great. I think for a younger guy to have this experience, it's something amazing. So, guys, if you have the opportunity, you have to take this chance, because then if you don't do it now, in the future maybe you'll regret it. Eh? So do it now when you are younger, and live your life. If you can do that, I will be very happy to hear that. So tell us how many coaches you have in your academy, and you have coaches for skills, for I don't know, for lineouts, for quarters, and anything
Yeah,
that
the, it really depends what positional players we get when they come in. Like it might be a case where there's, for example, no front row players for a year. It is possible because we don't have a team. We coach the individual players. So, in terms of the team coaching, we organize that clubs from around the area will collect the players, and then at night time they will actually train with the Irish club. So that's where they get the team training, and they will play matches with that club on a Saturday or Sunday. We obviously record or video the games, and then the video analysis is during the week when they're back in the academy with us. So to answer your question, we have quite a few coaches. Obviously, strength and conditioning coaches, a speed coach, um, position specific, but it really depends on who's in the academy. Then we will use the
and
coaches that need to help that specific group of players.
super. And you have, I don't know, the intention to come maybe in Romania to develop this kind of education of academy, because um, now I see in Romania, because in the past, Romania have a lot of results, big results in rugby, because we have centralized system, by the government. By now, is not the same, and a lot of new clubs, private clubs, they start to come in the market, because the government cannot uh, help everybody, so. Every year, new clubs, private clubs, they start to come on the market, let's say, and I from years to come to see if our country have the possibility to develop this kind of academy, because also from South Africa we have Johan van Herden, a great guy. He have Romanian nationality, and also he loved to work with children. It's a really amazing guy, and he was in our podcast, and he spoke a lot of these things. He want to make an academy. He want to teach children. He have a lot of experience. He played for Romanian national team, and I think maybe if you want to develop your academy, maybe Romania it's one of the country that you may take a look. I don't know, to search the market if you have the possibility to invest, because we have a lot of players with good qualities. But in my opinion, and I don't want to offend nobody, because uh, if I say something wrong, I'm sorry. But not all the trainers, they are on the right track with the modern how say coaches. So I think we need this kind of thing in Romania. We need the experience of the coaches to come and to learn not only the players, but also to help the coaches to develop their knowledge, to stay on track with the new modern I don't know how to say training model. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm not
No, I understand.
yes. So what do you think about that?
We do coach development camps as well in Ireland. So we get between 20 25 coaches from throughout the world, and we'll have 3 day, 4 day type of seminars where we come together and we bring different experts in, um, and hopefully we can all learn from that. I do think though that coaches need to develop themselves as well. I don't think it's the right way of looking at YouTube or following the way, I don't know, New Zealand or South Africa or Ireland's playing, because my experience in Sri Lanka have showed me that every country is different. The culture is different. The way the player develop at different ages is different. Again, in Sri Lanka, maybe the kids don't eat the most nutritional food, so therefore they're smaller at a much younger age before they develop. So the mistake I think coaches sometimes do is they feel they need to do what the All Blacks do or the Springboks do, and it just doesn't work. I think you need to find yourself and be confident in what you coach, that's applicable to the culture and to the team that you're involved in. Obviously, the age as well. Now, I'm not saying you obviously the first priority is safety of the player, so there is a correct technique, for example, in scrummaging or rocking or defense nowadays of tackling. That is paramount. You need to understand the safety aspect. But I think you're on a dangerous slope if everybody start coaching the same way. I think it will take a lot away from rugby as well. So in a strange way, I wouldn't encourage that. I will encourage skill development and safety, but not necessarily game plan of a 3-3-1 setup or all this stuff.
Yeah,
So what we have done before to different clubs is that we have a core program. So to start an academy is quite it's a tough ask. It's not easy. It took us a good few years to figure out a lot of stuff. We spoke to a lot of people, but I think clubs, in my experience, clubs can have like what we call a core development or a long-term development program, and we can definitely help in that, where we give pointers of helping kids, especially through skills and skill testing and skill exercises to bring them up to a certain standard at a certain age. I think that's probably the first step before you jump into academy, because it's tough going. Academy is not easy, you know.
Yeah,
But
so,
look, keep your eye on our social media as well. We definitely do the coach development programs, and it's a great week to see again all the different nationalities come together and share some ideas.
yeah. I think in almost 2 years, I built a community here in Romania, and also I want to spoke about community because rugby in Western countries it's developed a lot of with the communities they stay with the clubs, they help the clubs. There are a lot of people they come and they do, how to say, from their own time they give help for the clubs, and maybe you can talk about a little bit.
I think, unfortunately, it's a case where it's probably getting less and less because everybody is getting so busy. Family work commitments. In Ireland, the numbers of teams in rural clubs have definitely gone down, so there's less players as well. So it is definitely an issue. But at the end of the day, I do think that rugby is a sport where you can go throughout the world. From personal experience, I've been in France, I've been in Asia, all over the world. That if you walk into a club, that you already have a few friends that can help you either with studies or a job or a car or in some cases a girlfriend or a wife. But it's definitely a great game to keep the contacts and keep friendships for life. On my own wedding day in South Africa, there was 40 Irish guys that came over. Long flight, but that's kind of the camaraderie that you will see often if you get involved in rugby and in the community of a club.
Yeah, it's great. This is what I try. Also, what I say to you earlier, to build here in Romania. Also, now I live in Belgium, but I try to give this to our country to rebuild the community, because we can develop a lot of uh, doing that with the help of the community. We cannot wait for the government to give us money all the time because they have other priorities. And I think the private clubs also they can develop much easier with the community help. So I try to do that. It's not easy because, like you say, now people they don't have so much time like they do before. Also, they stay at work or they try to stay with their family. Also, I think the social media and the network television they keep them, how to say, prison in those telephones or IT. I don't know how to say, but a lot of people and a lot of young people they don't come to play sport like they do before. I see that also here in Belgium. I see that in Romania. I see that all over, like you say, where I go. The children they stay more on the social media. They uh, uh, and they don't go like they go before to play sports.
Yeah, but I think it works both ways. I think the clubs and the people in the clubs must also give back to the community. To grow the sport and pull the people in. And even from our academy point of view, we do a lot of projects where we will go into the village and we'll clean the village up and we'll pick up all the rubbish, or we go and do during Christmas time we have a shoebox appeal. It's a big company that sent toys for kids to Romania actually as well, and you pack it into shoe boxes, and that's kind of the gifts. So we will take our academy players there, and they will help to put it in boxes and put it in containers, So I think, as I said previously, it's a two-edged sword. You know, it's good for the community, but the clubs must also give to the community, and then you'll have. And during COVID, it was probably also a prime example of how clubs can help the community and help the old people or the sick people to prosper from the situation they were in. You know.
Yeah, it's true, and also I think the transparency it's a lot of it's is very important in this process. The partner to see you are an open society. You know, you like you say, you come to the community, you try to help, you are honest with your how to say partners, with your community, with your people from your academy, and then you can build what you say the circle. You know, they will be confident, they can develop new things with you because you are a person that they can rely on. And this is the most important thing, the partner, to have other partners they are honest with themselves, you know. So I think it's very important to do that, to be honest with each other, to say I'm able to do only that because I know to do that, but maybe tomorrow, who knows, I can do more than that. So I think also we have to, what I say at the beginning of the podcast, to be a little bit more open mind, you know, to not stay on your safe road. You have to also to go to left, to go to right. Maybe, who knows, you'll find better opportunities for your life.
Correct. No, you're 100% correct.
And also, if you need help with your what you do for Romania, if you need another help in Romania, here we are willing to give how say a help for the guys who bring for the children present or something like that. We can help to send it in Romania, or we are present. Depends in Romania the region that we can help you. You know, so maybe we can help something like that to give your partners a little bit air to have partners that they can rely on. So we can help you with that. It is not a problem, and I think all my colleagues will be happy to give something back for our community, and to make a connection with other countries. Why not?
Yes, definitely, no problem.
So please, how can tell me, Johan, how the players or the coaches, they can catch up with you, to email, to telephone. Tell me a little bit how it's your accommodation in Ireland. Um, Maybe you tell us a little bit about that. How can they find you? What is your package that you offer for them when they come in Ireland? Where they stay? How is the life? Or maybe you can speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, so to get in touch with me nowadays with social media, it's quite easy, as you know, but our webpage is rugbyacademyireland.ie. If you go there, you'll see our contact details, or my email is Johan, Johan, at rugbyacademyireland.ie. So the package we offer, we were very blessed. We recently moved our venue. If you look at our Facebook page, for example, you'll see some images there. So we're in a very, very big old mansion of 500 acres of woodlands. And the players will actually stay there. They live on site. So we have a brand new gym. We have pitches. We have obviously a recreation room, classroom, tennis court, ice baths. Everything is there. So they don't need to leave the premises. As soon as they land there, the only time they leave is, as I said, when they train at nighttime with clubs or when they play weekends with the club. But we will organize all that. So the full-time program is 8 months. That's from middle of August till middle of April. Basically, the rugby season in Ireland is during those 8 months. Or they can come for shorter periods of time. Obviously, the shorter you come, the less impact the program will have on you. And unfortunately, some of the education modules need you to be here for quite a long time. For example, the diploma in strength and conditioning, you need to be here for 8 months. So it's not impossible. It really depends on what your long-term goals will be. But look, get in touch. You can come for a day, a week, a month, or 8 months, and I guarantee you, you will have experience that you will take away for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I bet is like that. And also, I have a friend from Mania. He texts me. I don't know if he texts you back. I give your number, and he say to me, "I want to stay there for 1 year to improve my knowledge." I don't know if he contact you, but also uh, I hope we'll have a great time if you come to stay for 8 months there to develop his knowledge and his skills. Uh, I don't know, but he was very actions to do that. So I hope for him will do. And please, it's tell me, it's expensive to stay for 8 months to the academy or for 1 week? Maybe if you can tell us this information.
Yeah, it's full board, so therefore that means obviously you get all your meals, all your training. You obviously sleep there. So for 8 months, if you come for 8 months, it's 19,750 euros. So roughly 2,000, 2,500 if you only want to come for a month or two. So
2,000 for a month.
about 2,500 euros for a single month. Yes.
For a single month. Yes, because I say maybe we can achieve this amount of money for 1 month at the beginning to send the player, and then maybe in the future, if we can afford to to give somebody the experience to stay 8 months to the academy. It's a lot of money for us, but I'm sure that people will be much confident when they will see that our process is very transparent because we don't give the chance. We don't go and say you and you and you go there. No, we give them the chance to inscribe, and then we call them each for everyone. We give them a call. We spoke in English, and we try to see what they want to do this lesson, the online lesson, and then our association, they say okay. Now today I ask the accept for the association if they want to pay for this lesson. They say yes. So the next step will be we do the WhatsApp group, and then it depends of each every and everyone what they want to do the lesson. The lesson, online lesson, will pay for them, and after that we'll hope that they will have a great uh, I don't know how to say, a great experience on this online lesson. And after that, the people, they can saw that in us that we are able to keep their money safely, and to spend them wisely for them, and to invest in our future, because we want to do that. We cannot do that by uh, alone. It's very hard to do by myself or with the help of a friend or another one. It's like I say, the community help, and the more we are, it's much easier for us to send a lot of people for this lesson. And I hope for them will be a great opportunity to learn more things, and I'm sure for that. For this conversation, I see you are a great guy. You have a lot of experience. You have a great mentality. So for them, will be a great opportunity to develop.
Yeah, look, I think the other thing that we probably haven't touched on is when they come, is most of the players, when they leave, will be nearly fluent in English. And again, it's a skill if you can learn and communicate in English, as we know. English is my second language as well, but it's a skill that even when you don't play rugby anymore, it can open a lot of doors for you through work or study commitments. So all those things play a part in the package that we're trying to give to the player. So we'll be delighted to shake hands with you guys and try and get one or two of your players to come over, or a coach, and change their lives for them. You know.
Yes, and also I think, like you say, you have players. They stay in Ireland after this experience. They have offered from other clubs to stay there and to play for them.
Yeah, not just in Ireland. Obviously, it's worldwide. We have players. I don't want to start saying where, but it's literally from all corners of the world. We will have players playing there at the moment, meeting new people, even just going for short term to the country of that specific player that might have been a friend at the academy. It just opens a lot of doors through our own connections and through the people that they will meet here.
Yeah, it's great. And in the end of the podcast, I don't want to keep you too much on the podcast. Maybe we can spoke a little bit the Romanian rugby, what you know about the Romanian rugby union, and what you think about the rugby players from Romania.
Look, I don't want to generalize, but I think um, when we, for example, was playing in Sri Lanka, we played against Kazakhstan as well. And all these countries, that's what I was trying to say earlier. There are obviously a lot of wrestlers. So they were very tough men with cauliflower ears, and Romania, Georgia now, for example, is the same. All Sri Lanka, every country have its own history and culture, and that's what you need to embrace um, to make the team better, the national team, the club team. I don't always think bringing a lot of foreigners into the game is necessarily the answer. Um, Different reasons, probably another podcast by itself why I'm saying it. But as I do feel rugby have a part to play in the community, a part to play in the safety of the community, a part to play in the players' development. So invest in your own people, because they're ultimately going to stay behind. We all know rugby players, the chance of using drugs when you're young, look after your body, all those things play a part in the game. So um, that's why I will invest heavily into my own country, into my own players. If I was in Romania or in a second or third tier country, rather than just getting foreigners and worry about the results, because rugby have a little bit more than results at the end of the day that they can offer to the people. So as I said before, I think in Romania and all these countries there's players with the same commitment, the same drive, the same heart than any other player that you get in the Western world. It's just unfortunate that money drives the whole professional game, and therefore they don't always get the opportunities that they deserve. But it will change. It just takes a long time. Italy have proven that. Georgia now is proving it. So it's not impossible, but it is a challenge, and um, I think rugby have never shy away from challenges. It's just the people that's in it need to stay true and honest to themselves and to the game, and then it will be successful.
Yes, you are true. You are right in what you are saying, to help our own players, and to invest more in them to develop their uh, career. then to invest in players they come from overseas, like Romanian do. I think it was one of the biggest mistakes that Romanian do. In 2003, I was a player back then, a young player, 18 years old or 20 years old, something like that. 18 years old. Yes, and I was playing for Faro Constanța. It was former champions in Romania, and back then it was we are making the step from the young team, the how say the youth team for the big team. So I was 17 and a half when I start to play for the big team, and normally you need the transition because we don't have the under 20 and under 21 in Romania rugby team. So after U18, normally you go to the senior, and you need at least between 3 and 5 years to become a true player, to start to put a real problem to other players who have the experience of the game, So they start foreigners, and they start to bring players from Georgia at the first time, and then they start to come players from New Zealand, from Pacific, Fiji, and then it was the end of the Romanian, how say, youth teams. They say, it's much easier and much less cost for us. Instead to invest in children, we just buy. We go on the market and we buy foreigners, and we take the title. But I think it's fake. It's not normal. I can, if I am rich, I can invest in one team, and I take the best player in the world, and I am the champion. But if you want to, on the big level, you can do that. Okay, if you are uh, Stade Francais, I don't know. I give you an example for now, But if you are a club from Romania, you want to play in a competition in Europe, you don't have a national rugby team that is strong. What you do? You invest in other national team instead to invest in your national team. So it's fake, I don't think it's logical to do that. It's
Yeah,
my
no, I agree. I
opinion.
think if you talk about first world countries, that's a completely different game. It's money,
Yes,
television
it's money.
rights, it's
Yes, yes,
sponsorships. So you need these big names. So I'm
yeah,
talking about second and third tier. And when you ask me about Romania, I will put them in the Sri Lankan or the Malaysian bracket. And just from my experience, the success was when they play their own players and invest in their own players. And yes, maybe they're not going to win the cup, and they'll never they're obviously never going to win a Rugby World Cup. But the fact of the matter is, and that's what I was trying to say earlier, there's a responsibility on the rugby community to look after their
yes,
own youth. And I think that's more important than having 5, 6, 7 foreigners in and trying to win the local cup that way. Um, Look, it's just a personal opinion. Every club, every country is different, but that will be my advice towards Romania clubs anyway, for a start. I do think, though, that one or two foreigners, if you have the right foreigner, can also make a difference. Let's call it a good guy. He will have influence on the rest of the players, on their behavior. Um, so I wouldn't necessarily say it's not a good thing for smaller, but it's just the amount of players and the type of player is where the trick comes in, and how it influences your national team. Because, as I said at the start of the program, it's a great privilege for a young kid to say, I want to play for Romania, and eventually achieve that goal.
it's
You
true.
know, that's life-changing experience for him and his family, or her and her family. So, we must be careful to take that away. I'm going to tell you a personal story. The first time I played. I was lucky enough, as I said, to coach Sri Lanka, and we played Singapore in the Asian Division One final in Singapore. At that stage, Sri Lanka has never won the Division One. And when we sang the national anthem, the Sri Lankan boys, we had no foreigners playing, and the Sri Lankan boys literally had tears in their eyes, and there was a big contingent that was at the match. And the Singaporeans, like you said, it's probably harsh to say it, but half the team didn't even sing the national anthem because they were from, South Africa, New Zealand, that's working in Singapore and then playing for them. So the
Yeah.
same love for the game and for the people just wasn't there. And to be honest, we won in very late in the second half, and I will still say it's because of that drive that the Sri Lankan players had to play in front of their own people with the flag there. They were probably not the better team. I mean, on the scoreboard, yes, but the other team was very skillful, but they only had a handful of Singaporeans playing the game. So
Yes.
that's an example for me where it really backfired badly, and the same happened in Malaysia. They had the whole the whole backline was Fijians, and when I was speaking to the Malaysians, they were really upset over it because what's the point of playing if you know you have no chance playing for your country?
It's
So
true.
it's a very dangerous policy, and it needs to be. I think egos come to play where it's all about results, and rugby in second and third tier, it should be more than result. It should be community, and help the young kids, I think. But honestly, that's just a personal opinion.
No, but I'm just on the right track like you, and I think a lot of guys that are watching us will think the same way like you, because if you look, like you say earlier, at the Georgian rugby team, they can prove they can do it on the big level, and they do it very good, quite well. If we go back in time in the late 90s, beginning of 2000, Romania overcome Georgia a lot of time in the rugby test, on the games. And after 2008, 2010, Georgia overcome Romania, and since then we just won one or two times the Rugby Europe Championship. So I think says a lot of the improvement of the Georgian Rugby Union and the Romanian Rugby Union. We start to invest in, like I say, in foreigners. I don't have nothing with them. I'm a foreign in other countries, so I cannot say something bad about these players. And some of them, like you say, they are great guys. And like I say, they are great guys. But these guys, they will never 80% of them or 70% of them, like you say, they don't feel the same thing like a Romanian player feel when they play for their national team. If you look at the Georgians, when we play against them, also with our foreigners, we cannot put them problems. Now they beat us with their second team, and that says a lot of things about our rugby in Romania and their rugby in Georgia. We are in European Union and they are closer than Russia, but they do better things than us. They invest in teams, they invest in clubs, they invest in players. If you look in the top 14 and Pro Do, they have, I think, 140 players, the Georgians. 140 players they have there. I don't say the Black Lions and the other clubs they have in Georgia. And they have, I think, 7 or 10 academies,
Mm,
and they build new facilities for rugby.
yes.
What you can say against that? You cannot say nothing. How can you compete against them when you don't invest in facilities. You don't have modern fields for the players. You don't have facilities for the people to stay to look. Now Romania, from like I say to you, 60, 70, 80, 90s, yes, beginning of 2000, we have the Romanian rugby. It was very spread in Romania. Now it's like more like a niche. It becomes like a niche. If you see 8,000 people in the national arena in Bucharest, it's a celebration for us. But if you look back in the history, in 60 or 70, 64, I don't want to make a mistake. We have the biggest audience in the rugby history until in 2014 in the World Cup that it was in England, I think, against Ireland. Also, the second it was we in 2014. Then we beat the audience in from 64 against Ireland. So in Tottenham, 89 or something like that, 90,000 people there watching that game. So you see, we have, and I spoke also with David Gerard, that is the manager of national of rugby Romania. He say, "Look, guys, look, Victor, you guys, you live more in the past than you live in the present, and to build the future." And I think a lot of these Eastern country, they live more in the past. They don't want to overpass these things, to let them in the past, to say, okay, we have a great history, but now we are in this present day, and the things, they are not looking great for us, and we cannot have a future in rugby if you stay on this track. I don't want, I say, I don't want to offend people, because I don't want to do that. It's very hard to say. It's very easy to say, to put fingers on somebody jobs, to say you don't do good job. I don't want to do that. But also, we need to change some things to be on the right track. We are not there, and I'm afraid maybe this year we can go on this qualification. We can beat Belgium and Germany, and maybe Portugal, because we'll play a little bit far away from Bucharest, and it's a hard field for them. So maybe you have a chance, but in the future, in the next 4 years, I don't think we'll be there. I'm afraid I will not be there, because if you look at Belgium, they have a lot of clubs, new clubs. They invest all the time. They have new sponsors. They have new teams. They have new players. All the best players, they send them in France to the academies. Also, if you look at Netherlands, they, the history with South Africa, and they bring a lot of players from South Africa over there. Also, they bring all the best players from Netherlands. They go in South Africa to the academies. So they have some connection that Romania doesn't have anymore. We have the connection with France. Now we have some, luckily, with David Gerard, but we are not there anymore.
Mhm.
And we lose this train. It's hard, but this is the true. This is the true, and we are not accepting that. We are just lying to us. And also, David say, what is the point to go to the World Cup, to be there? I don't know if I want to see Romania to the World Cup. Yes, maybe I want to see it because it's my national team. But what is the point to go there and to be beaten with 80 points to 7 to 15? I don't know. What is the point to be there and to not put them problems? I know, I'm short guy. I'm a short guy. But when I play rugby, every time I engage with the biggest player, because I want to fight with them. It was my pleasure to put them down. It was in my blood. If I see a biggest one, I want to be there and to hurt them. Now I don't see that. and I think a lot of players, they are like football players. You see, I don't want to be hurt. I don't. It's a fucking rugby. You have to engage, and you have to put problem to the other teams to be better than them. If you do, if you go there and you say I was to the World Cup in France and in Australia, what is the point if you don't, if you are not close to the other teams to put them problems, to say I don't know, after the game the South African to say thank you for this game, it's hard, it's very hard to see that. I don't know if you understand me what I tried to
No,
explain here, because I spoke for a few minutes, but it's a little bit, it's hurting me, those things.
no, I can see you're very passionate about it, but
Yes, yes,
it,
yes.
I guess, look, it's what we said before. It's a long-term development, plan that each club will have to get, and each team. You have to break it down into smaller little bites, because if you just go for one big bite, I don't think you'll succeed. And it needs people like you and the people that's behind you. Even start small and invest in one or two players, and it's amazing what that can do. Because, but ultimately, the top needs to be sorted. You look at a big country like America with so many talented, very talented players, um, and they seem to struggle. It doesn't matter which way they go with it, MLR or different franchises. Um, they seem to struggle, and so it's not just always the finance. It needs to have a good plan, good, honest people, and it needs patience. You need patience. So, but look, let's focus on the people that we can change, the one or two players that you can change, and that's probably where we will see that we can get involved in not just Romania, um, but it is very enjoyable. We obviously have two players from the academy that played in the Olympics for Ireland sevens, and we would have had them when they were 16, 17 years old. So it's great to know that you had a finger, small little bit in the pie there to change their future and change their lives as well. So that's what we're focusing on. And from there, we'll be very positive to try and help you guys.
Thank you, Johan. It will be great to have this collaboration with you, and I hope we can do much more after that. I hope to do that. You are a great guy, and it's really great to meet you, to stay to talk with you. I think also for our viewers, it was a great experience to learn new things. For me, it's every time it's an experience, because I learn new things, I meet new peoples. I'm sorry, and I listen story of life that change also my mentality. I'm other guy that I was 1 year before and 2 years before, because every day it's a new challenge for me. It's a new opportunity to learn more things and to have no other perspective about life, and also about rugby. Uh, when the guys tell me I have to be the president of Rugby Mania, because I don't do these things, because everything it was from one idea that I have, and it was spread, like a flower when it's open, like a rose. And I say I don't want to be the president, because I don't want to do everything. I don't want to have the podcast. I don't want to write on the website. I don't want to be the moderator on the Facebook group. I don't want to be the president of the association. Everybody have to do a thing, because if I do everything, the thing will not be how to say quality, because I try to do everything and I cannot focus in one thing. But the guys say, "Yeah, you have to do it because we cannot do that," and I have no idea about running an association. I don't know an idea about laws and working with papers, and now I have to learn. So every day it's an opportunity to learn new things, you know.
No, no. Same for rugby players. A lot of opportunity to learn on the pitch and off the pitch. So, no, thanks
Yeah.
again for the invitation, and I'm sure we'll chat again soon.
Thank you, Johan, and thank you, guys. Keep in
Thank
touch.
you.
Bye.
Cheers.
See
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye.